Good morning, everyone. So today I have Spellbinders Stitching Die of the Month for July of 2023 to share with you. It is the Stitched Snowflake Cardfront, I believe is what they called it. Basically a card creator, so really pretty. They did send these items free of charge from my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So thanks for using those if you can. And yeah, so I already did a total package unboxing where I talk about all this. This makes a standard A2 size card front. Of course, it has that cool embossing, or actually it's actually cut. You can feel it's like going to cut in, not just emboss that. But you have this gorgeous snowflake. These things do not really inlay because the snowflake cuts out on its own. It's just a shape, so it looks nice, and the packaging looks nice like this. But basically it's going to be a separate piece. It is pretty dainty. There are pieces that fall out here that you can then paper piece back in if you would like, because as you can see, it's decorative, this little portion here. So really fun. You can also kind of inlay that if you want, and then it'll cut that center piece out, make it even more dainty, or just pop this on top and it's another little stitched area. Of course, you have your beautiful stitched snowflake, and the background is just a background, so it's going to give you a lot of texture without having to do much. So I feel like this is going to be a pretty quick stitching project because you just stitch up the line here really easy, and this last one doesn't have like the little fancy top and bottom like this one has, so it's just a quick stitch. Really nice. So there is an add-on that you can pick up, and I have it linked. I had it linked this whole time since they released their club kits. You have an extra little guy that does this same shape. You can pop in the words "for you" or "joy," and then you have like a little taggy kind of label, so if you want to put that in there instead, or use it all together. You have Noel, sorry, my finger's covering it up, and you have peace. So it's just tiny merriment add-on, I believe is what they called it. So I already picked out some papers just to get started because I know this is going to be pretty quick, and I was like, well, we'll just jump right in. So I have a standard A2 size card from the club kit. It's 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4 if you are making your own card base. I think I'm going to use this blue paper from the card kit also. Oh, how pretty would that be, like in purple or pink, any of these colors. But I'm going to use this light blue for the snowflake itself. Okay, so I'll run that through and we'll have that. And the other reason I'm doing this is because this is a nice piece of 4 1/4 by 5.5 piece of paper. Nice piece of paper. Anyway, nice piece of paper here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and stick this down. That part doesn't matter that much, but afterwards you're going to want to keep the snowflake in the paper so it's easier to stitch, because it's a very delicate thing. You can just have it in your hand. I'm sure it's not a big deal, but Spellbinders recommends trying to keep it in there, putting a little tape, so when you stitch it, you're holding this whole piece instead of just the delicate snowflake in your hand. So we'll talk about that when we get there. I grabbed a darker, look, it's just a scrap piece of paper in dark blue. Oh man, now I really want to try out one of these guys with it. I think that'd be pretty. Why don't we just go ahead and do "for you" like this, and then maybe just this cut out of white paper. I have a scrap of white paper here next to me. I don't know if this is going to be big enough. Yeah, so let's do that. So we'll have a little piece of white paper that goes behind it, and then the "for you," in case that shows through, you'll see the white sticking out through. So just like this, and then this one just like this, and of course tape it down so it doesn't move. And then let's go ahead and do peace. And maybe with this one, we can do white like this with the dark blue behind it. Okay, so one just dark blue and one nestled in the white, just to have some different variation of what we're doing there. And the background, so I'm not using the little stitching center because I'm using it else. On the background, I'm going to use this gorgeous paper that was gifted to me. Thank you, Maida. And I think it'll just be a lot of fun to just have a really dazzling background, and we didn't have to do much. All we did was use the die. So I'm going to take this gorgeous holographic paper. I'm trying not to hurt it. There we go. And we'll just run this through like that, and it'll just be super holographic with that blue kind of look to it, which will be really nice. And then we'll do our stitching once I come back. Check this out. Let's see this. Oh my gosh. And again, like I said, that Snowflake is not an inlay, but I suppose if you wanted the frame look, you can do that, but it's just going to be kind of more inside of here, and it's going to be a snowflake shape. So it's not really just cutting this away cleanly, you know. But there's that cool background. Again, it goes all the way through. It's like paper puncturing, paper, what do they call it? There's a word for it. Anyway, I'll be back. I'll just cut everything else out. So I might have switched up my color order of what I said I was going to do for my little banners, because when I got there I thought, oh wait, did I say this or this? And it doesn't matter. It's fine. So what happens is when you do these, you can see how the E is missing a piece, but the rest of them aren't. So you just want to get rid of that, so that way you can see whatever's behind there. And I usually just take my little pokey tool and just clear it out, because it is cut away. It's just sometimes it stays there. You can see how clean that looks. So just kind of poke in there. I'm gonna do this one delicately. Off camera, same thing for this guy. Just get rid of those little bits that are keeping it from looking super clean back there. And I'll go ahead and glue those together. So this one with this. That little R is being stubborn. Let's go, buddy. There you go. And I'll do the same thing with the peace sign, for the peace wording. And so I'll have those guys ready. And you can see the little white kind of showing through there. And so that's just how I clean them out whenever the lettering doesn't completely come out clean. Okay, so we have that, we have that. We have our card front, which I'm just going to glue right down, so I'm going to do that right now. It does have that piercing. This center piece should be covered up, so I'm going to go ahead and put glue just kind of in there to help me hold this down. But you don't want to go too crazy, because if you're using super metallic paper, sometimes it'll warp. So I'm just going to line that up, make sure that's nice and pretty. Put this off to the side over here and put something on top, which I usually just put like a plate plus maybe my machine. For this time, I think the plate by itself will be plenty. I just need that to make contact. So I'll glue this guy together, and then this one is the one that I was talking about. We want to set up in a way. So before I remove actually my plate, you see on this back side that it's like this. So what's interesting is I do have the Spellbinders tape, the skinny one, but I don't know where it is right now. So I only have the sticker one in front of me, but I do have their 1/4" tape. So I don't have the sticker one. What you're going to do, I'm just going to take some double-sided tape and not take the back off of it. It's just to help you out. Let me see if I can get this closer so you can see better. Again, you can hold the snowflake in your hand while you're stitching, but what they're saying is, see here, like there's a hole, but there's not anything here. So like run down one of those areas like that. Now, when I go to stitch, I might end up trapping this. That's my only, like, okay, I don't know if that's the best place to put it, but we'll see, because what happens with the stitching, we're going to go up and then we're going to go over, we're going to go over, up and over and over, so I might end up trapping that. That's my only concern. But let's just do a couple of them, that way it's held on. But maybe, you know what, actually I'd rather hold it on this outer portion. I know in the picture they showed it holding in that center, but that way it's still holding it, but it's not holding it in a spot where we're going to end up stitching over it. Does that make sense? So I'm barely catching this outside part. That will make it a little bit trickier, but hopefully it'll work. Okay, so I'm going to go around and do that in some different areas. Just on this outer portion. Trying to hold that down a little bit. That way it won't be impeding anything. So I'm not sure how they got rid of it in there. Example. Right there. I mean, it is just holding the smallest amount. I guess we should probably give it, I'll do, every single branch has something holding it. Okay, I'll be right back. So, have that on there. And remove this tape. And again, if it's just easier for you to hold the snowflake, just hold the snowflake. It was just a suggestion they had. So I'm trying it. Again, I don't want to remove it, right? We just did all that work to try to keep that held in there. So I'm gonna do what I can do. cute. And then these pieces are the ones I was telling you, if you wanted to keep those, you can pop them back in or run this through a different color paper, and then you'll have those little pieces to piece back in. And they're all cute and decorative, so something to think about. We'll see when we get there. Now again, I'm going to push this down because we have that tape back there to help us. So as I hold it, it's easier to hold the whole card instead of just one little bit. And so I'm just going to get a little needle. This one's a little bit smaller. I usually go for a little bit larger embroidery needle, but that's okay. And I'm just using white thread, embroidery floss, and I'm just cutting off as much as I want to work with, which is usually longer than this, but I don't know. And I'm going to split it into 3 and 3. So in embroidery floss there are 6 strands generally. If you're using like a fancy like silver one or something, or gold metallic, they might have a different number, or might just be solid already. But as you pull this, I'm kind of keeping this over here, keeping these to the side because they will knot up on each other. Let's keep going here. And oh, just keep pulling down and trying to keep it from knotting. Okay, so I have that. And then this side we go ahead and get into your needle. Let's see if I can do this on camera. Nice. Okay, so I usually don't pull the whole thing through. Actually, I missed one. Ah, gotta do it again. I'll be right back. Now we got it. And I just pull it like that. I don't tie this in a knot down at the bottom because then it'll be 6 strands again. But down here I will go ahead and put a little knot in. And, you know, start wherever you like, whatever you think this needs to happen. So I'll just show you on this one because this one has that little extra stitching. I'll start at the bottom and go up. I used to clean out all these little holes, but it doesn't matter. You're going to poke it with your needle anyway, so it'll fall out. Ah, no. Okay, so we have that. And this piece, it's already a knot, so and it's a good size knot, so it's going to hold on to it for me. I'm just going to go up straight into this guy here. Actually, that's not true. Hold on. Hold on. I forgot that we have this left and right. See how we go left and right? Everywhere, so that's where we're going to start. So I'm just going to go over to the right one. It doesn't matter, just pick a side. And then you're going to go back to the middle, the one you just started at. Try not to split your threads. And I mean, this is how I'm doing it. You can do it however you want. You can go to the left now. Ah, and then again back to the center. And right back here. So holding it as a card does help. You just have to set that up right up to the middle, okay? Now that we came down the middle, we're going to go up to the right or left, whatever it is you want. Whatever gets your rhythm going. Down the center again. Up through the back on the left. Oh, see, I popped away from the tape. And then down the center again. And the whole time you can, you know, I'm kind of holding onto the thread just to keep a nice tension. If it's too loose, just kind of work that until you're happy. And then back up the, oh, we just came up the middle. So now because I came down here and I'm already in the middle, it's a little bit different. So I'm going to go up to the top. And again, it's just because of the way it's stitching. You can go up straight to the top or however. I'm going to have to go back down the middle here so to make it make sense. And now that I'm here, I'm going to come back up in the middle. I know that's where it's kind of thick in that area. It's just, if I go over here, you're going to see it later when I come out. So when we remove our snowflake, you know. And you can also stitch however, you know, whatever makes sense to you. Okay, so I'm going to the right. I'm going to come back up the middle. Excuse me. And then over to the left. Tighten that up a little bit. Oh, hopefully I'm in frame because Helen's kind of far away from me to help. Again, back down the middle, which is going to be a bummer because actually I'm coming up the middle. Last time I went down the middle, that's the problem. And maybe I did something funky to have that happen, but either way. So now we're here, and we're already in the back, so we're going to go up here. Go down the middle. So see how it kind of switches off every other. So just adjust your plan. Okay, so now I'm going to go up here. And now I'm going to go down the center. So that's, again, a spot that I'm going to have to come back up because I came down. So I'm going to go up in here. Hold on. Up the very center one at that top part. Down the center again just to finish that up. And then we're going to have to come back up here. Now what's interesting about this one is that there's no center hole. So you can just go straight across each one. Okay, if that works out for you. So, having said that, let's go up here. I'm just going to go all the way to the top one. You won't see that in the back anyway. And then go down this one. We're just going to make a little crisscrossy. So then pick another one. I'm going to pick the one right to the right. And cross over the one opposite from it. And then I'll just go to like this one here and finish it off by going down this last hole right here. And so that's it for that branch. And I'll do the same thing over here, but just going to end here when you get there, and there's no crisscrossy. But you'll do the same thing at the bottom one. And so to finish it off, you can just put some tape, you can put a knot. I've been a fan of doing the tape thing, so I'm just going to go like this. And I'm going to get some of my very sturdy adhesive that you believe in, that you trust, to bring that thread over this way, and then just tape it down. You can clean that up later if there's some extra tape sticking out the side. Okay, and that's that. Okay, I'm going to continue with all the branches, and then we'll just put everything together. Okay guys, so let's bring everything back. I just finished stitching, so we have our card base, we have the two little kind of sentiments that we put together. This looks awesome. And then I have this guy. Now, funny enough, I didn't really try to center this. I just needed that for this piece. But if I pop this out, because now that we're done, we can definitely get this out of here. Again, if you taped it in a different way, you want to just take the tape away. I want to clean this up just a little bit because I know in the back here, let me try to get a small set of scissors. Or a pair of scissors. I can see a little bit of that sticking out of like the little hole there, you know. So just trying to clean that up, and then clean up any loose ends that might be in the way. Otherwise, you can pretty much glue them down when you go to glue this. So maybe like that little. But what I was going to say is on that card base or topper, wherever I cut this guy out, I'll trim that off in a second. I still have this one, and I can piece another one in, you know, if I cut it out again. And I can even put my little sentiment in here, so I can definitely use that as another topper. So, really fun. Yeah, so let me finish cleaning this up in the back. I just want to show you what that looks like. Like here, maybe you have some little strands or whatever. And just get those cleaned up. And I'm debating if I should use hot glue or just dimensionals. But I'll clean this up and I'll be right back. So as I clean that up, I did decide to go ahead and fire up my hot glue gun. So we will use some hot glue. But again, you know, maybe a little dimensional there. Just put some strategically, because you have knots here and there. So obviously, you can just put it glue, you know, put glue and glue it down. But it's going to be a little lumpy. So I'd rather just have the hot glue that gives me a little bit of that height anyway, you know. So we have that. We'll stick that guy down. This guy's probably popped up on a dimensional. And then we'll have this little piece that we can just place it wherever you like. You can also just do that. Maybe just a little blue piece or whatever behind it, with that on top. Lots of different ways to play with that. No, I'm going to put it down here. And then this guy will be there. So let me just wait for this guy to warm up, and we will finish up our card. This might be hot enough. Oh, I need a little extra stick back here. Okay. Again, if you're familiar with a hot glue gun, generally needs to have a stick all the way to the back to push it through. So I'm going to put a little glue here and just carefully go down, down, down. Now this is hot glue. This one, fortunately, it stays pretty sticky for a little while. So I'm just being careful where I'm placing it. What I'm saying is it doesn't harden very quickly, so that's good. Just get a little extra wherever. So I'm gonna line this whole thing out and I'll be right back. in that middle, and let's get this down right in there. I'm gonna hold that down and I'll be right back. Yeah, that was a little, how to do the work. Oh, you know what? The other thing is, whenever I use a hot glue gun, this stuff, I just get rid of it afterwards. If you start pulling at it while it's still hot, it's just gonna keep stretching, and so I'll just get rid of those in just a bit. But for now, we're just gonna finish up our card. I have my For You. And I put that one on a higher dimensional, and then these, I was gonna say these guys are this guy, so I said these guy. I'm just gonna take this off. And these are a little bit lower dimensional. And I'm gonna have that right down here. And I love the way that looks. Let me line that up there. I'm just kind of using these little stars to help me line that up nice and straight. And there's our card. Quick stitching. Really striking. I love it. It's really gorgeous. That keeping it in this panel while you're working on it really helps out. So thanks for watching, guys. Thank you so much, Spellbinders, for these items for review. I'll have the links in the description box. Images are coming up, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.